Good day everyone. For today's video, we're gonna have a multimedia presentation about the effects of organic fertilizer or vermicompost on the growth of mung bean or mungo plant. The goal for this multimedia presentation is the learners will analyze the effects of the amount fertilizer on the growth of plants by reading the article or selection on the effects of organic fertilizers or vermicompost on the growth of mung bean or mungo plant and answer the given guide questions. Come up with a blog or multimedia presentation on the effects of organic fertilizer or vermicompost on the growth of mung bean or mungo plant. So let's now read about the article Effects of Organic Fertilizer or Vermicompost on the Growth of Mung Bean or Mungo Plant. An experiment was conducted to investigate the effects of organic fertilizer or vermicompost on the growth of mung bean or mungo plant. The plant variety used was mung bean purchased from the public market. Loam soil was used for all the containers or plots. Each plot was planted with 10 mung bean seeds. The amount of vermicompost applied in each plot varies from 10 grams, 20 grams, and 30 grams. All other variables were made constant, such as the amount of sunlight and water received by the plants in all plots. After incubation period, it was found out that the plants in plot number 3 were the first to sprout, followed by number 2, and lastly by plot number 1. The height of the stem measured in centimeters and number of leaves were counted after 3 and 5 days consecutively. Study the table below and answer the guide questions that follows. This table, we can see the average stem length in centimeter, average number of leaves, number of seeds sprouted in plot number 1, number 2, number 3 on day 3 and day 5. Questions. The first question is, which of the 3 plots recorded the highest number of leaves, longest stem, and the greatest number of sprouted seeds? Write the average number of leaves, average length of the stem, and number of seeds sprouted. Why do you think so? The answers are, as you can see in the table that I presented earlier, the plot recorded the highest number of leaves, longest stem, and greatest number of sprouted seeds is the plot number 3. Because the more amount of vermicompost applied in the plot, the more the seed plants will have an highest number of leaves, longest stem, and the greatest number of sprouted seeds. Second question. Which of the 3 plots has the least number of leaves, shortest length, and least number of sprouted seeds? Write the average number of leaves, average length of stem, and number of seeds sprouted. Why do you think so? The answers are, you can see in the table, the plot recorded the least number of leaves, shortest length of stem, and least number of sprouted seeds is the plot number 1. Because, as I said earlier, the most vermicompost applied, the more the plants will have an highest average on leaves number, length of stem, and in the number of sprouted seeds. So in this case, the plot number 1 was the least vermicompost has applied. That's why the plot number 1 has the least number of leaves, shortest length of stem, and least number of seeds sprouted. Third question. How will you relate the amount of fertilizer applied for each plot to the growth rate of mung bean or mungo seeds? Answer. I will relate it by the more the fertilizer applied on each plot, the more the growth rate will be in a highest average. Last question. As a student, do you think the use of organic fertilizer is advantageous? Why or why not? Answer. Yes, it was. Because when we use fertilizer on a plant, it helps to give a highest average of growth as well as give an healthy result. Key concepts of variations. Direct variation. Indirect variation, As one variable is multiplied by a constant and increases, another variable or the quotient also increases. Inverse variation. Inverse variation is a relationship between variables so that as one variable decreases, the other variable increases. Joint variation. Joint variation is a relationship between three variables where one variable varies directly as the product of two or more variables. Combined variation. Combined variation is a combination of direct, inverse, and joint variation. To sum up, organic fertilizers are natural fertilizers obtained from plants and animals. It enriches the soil with carbonic compounds that is essential for plant growth, as well as organic fertilizers increase the organic content of the soil, promotes the reproduction of the microorganisms, and changes the physical and chemical properties of the soil. It is considered to be one of the main nutrients for green food. And for the key concepts of variations, it's have 4 types of variation, and these are constant variation, inverse variation, joint variation, and combined variation. Thank you for your listening and see you on my next video.